Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are, and welcome to This Week in Football with myself, Zamarano, as well as my partner in crime when it comes to football, Gare. How you doing, mate?
I'm doing really well.
Fantastic. So there's a lot to talk about this week in football. We had some Premier League matches today as well as yesterday, but prior to the Premier League kicking off, this week, we also had some European games. So I'm just going to quickly just share some of the information and results of this week's European fixtures. So let's just bring that in here. Can you see that, Gary?
Yeah, just load it up very slowly. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, you might want to inflate that a little bit. You'll increase the size so that people can see that.
How's that?
That's super.
Okay.
Let's go for. There's a lot of sending offs by the look of it. Like 1, 2, 3. Referees have over tightened up.
5, 6 on that particular match week. Unbelievable. So there's a whole bunch of matches that are irrelevant to me. Seville versus Salzburg. I would guess that's a good result for Salzburg. Seville are a recognised team. Wolfsburg versus Lille. I guess it's a good result for Wolfsburg considering they're away from home and they got a red card. Villarreal and Atalanta. That's a decent game, by the way. Villarreal and Atalanta, a decent team in Spain versus a decent team in Italy. 2-2. I guess Villarreal got away with one with a red card as well. Chelsea versus Zenith and Petersburg. People expecting Chelsea to wipe the floor with Zenit, but they managed to still get the 3 points by beating Zenit 1-0. Malmo versus Juventus. Juventus back on track with wins because they've had a poor season.
That's a pretty good result.
Yeah, exactly. A decent result for them, 3-0.
No, talking about the Bayern Munich.
Yeah, this result puts a smile on my face. I despise Barcelona. I despise Real Madrid. I despise both of those teams.
Barcelona are going through like a bit of a debt crisis at the moment.
Yeah,
so they've had to get rid of like majority of their really, really good players.
And I'm happy. I'm happy to see the demise of Barcelona because you know how they operate in La Liga. Basically, half the money goes to half of the I think it's the television rights or whatever money there is in that league. Half of it goes towards Barcelona and Real Madrid, and the other half of the money goes to the rest of the teams in the league. So a quarter of the money goes to Barcelona, a quarter of the money goes to Real Madrid, and the other 50% of the money goes to all the remaining teams equally. It's just fucking ridiculous. So fuck Barcelona. I'm very happy Bayern Munich beat them 3-0. I would love to see a team like this fall apart. Obviously my team's falling apart. I enjoy seeing Barcelona, but they're a far bigger club. Dynamo Kiev versus Benfica.
Yeah, I mean, to us, that was a pretty poor match. I mean, I watched some highlights of it and it stunk.
Yep. Besiktas versus Dortmund. I guess it's good. I mean, Eric Haaland, the guy is a machine. Is that Sheriff? Sheriff versus Shakhtar Donetsk?
I think it's like Turkish.
Okay. They've got a bloody star, like a marshal, like a sheriff star, in the Western as their badge. Here we go. Inter Milan versus Real Madrid. This is a big game as well. Real Madrid won 1-0. Atletico versus Porto, another big match. 0-0. I guess Porto would be happy with that result away from home with a red card. Club Brugge versus PSG. This is Club Brugge, I believe, is a Belgium team. This is an excellent result for them. Excellent. I mean, considering what PSG has, this match I did watch. By the way, this was probably the match of the night. Liverpool versus Milan. I mean, even though it's got less goals than some of the other games we're going to mention in a sec, Liverpool versus AC Milan was a fantastic football match. And Liverpool winning 3-2. It's just what they would have wanted out of that game. Do you know that's the third time Liverpool have played AC Milan? Obviously, the previous 2 times were the Champions League finals, but they've only played each other 3 times now, which is hard to believe.
I mean, Liverpool were pretty pretty lucky to win that one, and they actually pulled it out of the bag. So
great goal by
Ajax
Henderson.
5-1 by Ajax. That's not surprising. Supporting a pretty poor team, but yeah, that one, the City result. I mean, City were getting is pretty close until Leipzig, or how you pronounce it, got that guy.
Leipzig. Yeah.
They were pretty razor close, but then City just, I don't know, they got somebody sent it off, and then the City just ripped them apart. But let's talk about United results, because let's talk about United results.
I left your one till the end, which is Young Boys at the Wank Door Stadium. Juvenile FC, baby, versus Man United. 2-1 Young Boys.
The thing is, the guy got sent off, and as soon as that happened, the game's put on the dive and they won.
I think personally, Wan-Bissaka becoming a weak link for you guys. And
no. It's just like we had someone sent off, and then they just ran it. They took advantage. This is what they should have done.
I've seen Man United teams in the past go down to 10 men and still fucking win. And I just, don't get me wrong, like you were 1-0 up at the time. It was a long time for you guys to hold out for, but a decent Man United team, in my opinion, would have maybe just seen at the game at 1-0, and at worst case scenario 1-1, but 2-1 for them to score in the dying embers of the game. I am kind of shocked by that. I do think Ole was getting a bit of a hard time regarding this game because you were down to 10 men. But this was not.
I think it's because he took Cristiano off.
Yeah, which was.
He took Cristiano off, and the thing is that he was running them ragged. If he wants to do, until we took him off, he was basically like carving them up all on his own.
I think what it is as well.
I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what age he is. He can still tear apart teams on his own.
I just think he was too concerned that he was going to burn Cristiano Ronaldo out in a 10-man Man United team. Which is why I think
apparently he wasn't very happy about that, and it was just like Cristiano, just like just learn to fight, to pick and choose your battles.
Yeah. I agree, but it's unfortunate what happened to you guys. I thought when Ronaldo scored the first goal, I thought, shit, you guys are gonna smash a fuck ton of goals, but it never turned out to be like that. But let's see, have a quick look who you're playing next week. And there's some interesting games here. PSG versus Man City next week will be good. Porto versus Liverpool, another good game. I expect Dortmund to thrash fucking Sporting after what happened. Shakhtar Donetsk versus Inter Milan will be an interesting game considering it's Inter Milan away from home. But Man United, this is a tough match. Villarreal.
Yeah, Villarreal. That's going to be. They need to up their game for that.
You lost them in the final of the Europa League last season, and
the thing is that we could be going back there if we keep on playing the way we are. Because the thing is that we're going to probably get bounced out in the group rounds if we just lose to shitty teams that we should be beating.
There's also a few other interesting matches there. Bayern versus Dynamo Kiev will be a good game. Benfica versus Barcelona will be a good game, but I think the pick of the round for that week will be Juventus versus Chelsea. I think
that will be the pick of the week.
Yeah, that'll be the pick of the games. PSG versus Man City, actually, that is also up there too. It's a coin toss between, and even Milan versus Atletico Madrid's a decent match.
There's a couple of decent matches.
Yeah, but that's next week, and that is the Europa League. So now we're going to go into the UEFA Cup.
I thought you said you're going to go to the Premier League then.
I'm going to do that after this one. But, there are some English representation in there. And don't get me wrong, I don't know too much about the UEFA Cup. But let's just get it in there as we are doing European football. Sorry, I think I've just done the same one again. My bad. So, Europa League. I'll also do the old thingy. All right. Roma beat CSKA Sofia about to say Moscow, but no, Sofia 5-1. Fair enough. Let's have a look at some more results here.
So what's this? I think this is like the first round. So where we match day? Yeah. So this was last week. So don't care about that one. Don't care about that one. Sorry, I'm just going through.
Rennes versus Spurs 2-2. I think Spurs would be upset with that. Even though it's away from home.
Rennes are a pretty decent side. They're hard to break down.
I mean, they're always there and abouts, you know.
I'm looking for another two. Roma 6-1. That's a pretty decent result for Roma. Look at any other side. They should be, but I'm not quite sure. I'm not sure if they got out the group stage. No, this is the group stage. Fuck. I don't know.
Oh, this is the Conference League. My bad. This is the Conference League. Okay. So we want the Europa. This is
this is the Europa League.
No, it's Europa Conference League. See that? Look, Europa Conference League here, which is the one Spurs are in. We just want the Europa League. Europa League results. There we go.
So Monaco won. What did they win?
Well, Spartak lost 1-0 to Legia Warsaw. This was at home. Bayern Leverkusen 2-1. Galatasaray, great result for them. Beating Lazio. It's a good result.
West Ham won 2-0. Pretty decent.
Very good. Excellent. Away from home as well. They should be very happy with that.
Olympiacos won 2-0. Leon beat Rangers 2-0. Don't surprise there. I'm surprised that Rangers aren't in the Champions League. Because they went unbeaten.
Yeah, but they got knocked out on the first stage, didn't they? Prior to the league commencing. But Real Betis beat Celtic 4-3. That would have been a great game. Monaco winning 1-0. Yeah, Rangers losing. I mean, yeah, Lyon's a good team, by the way. One of the better French teams out there. PSV, as Real Sociedad, they're decent teams. 2-2. Leicester were down to 10 men, but apparently they were in the lead twice, and they blew it. And against Napoli, that would have been a good game too. So it doesn't look too bad for some of the English teams. The British teams doesn't look great because of Celtic and Rangers losing. But let me just remind myself who's in this group again. When it comes to the English teams, West Ham have done well, and Leicester have done well. So, I mean, I would say Napoli's no pushovers, dude. They're always there and thereabouts when it comes to Serie A. So, it's a decent result, even though they were in the lead twice. But yeah, anyway, fuck all that. And let's get into the meat and potatoes of
the Premier League.
The Premier League.
Can we before we pull it up? Can we have? I saw you post this on Facebook, so I know we don't usually do this before the results come up, but I saw the fact that you complained that your goalkeeper got man of the match. Now the thing is, if your goalkeeper had a good game, which he did, then he should get the man of the match. Because the thing is that he got you that result.
It's against Burnley, Bossman.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter who it's against. You're going to take every win or draw or every positive result you can.
Please understand. I'm very happy. I'm very happy that Ramsdale had a good performance. I'm very happy that he done well and he never conceded. He still hasn't conceded a goal yet for Arsenal. But the fact is that when we're playing against Burnley, and out of our 11 players, our goalkeeper is the man of the match, it means that the rest of the team were not good enough. Because we won 1-0 on a set-piece goal from Odegaard. How good were we as an outfield outlet? I wouldn't mind Ramsdale being man of the match if we played against Man City or Chelsea or Man United or Liverpool or teams, even Spurs, I wouldn't mind. But against Burnley are not known for being high goal scorers and all that sort of shit.
Yeah, but they're hard to break down, though.
Yeah, but they're hard to break down. Doesn't mean that we're hard to break down. For our goalkeeper to get man of the match against them means that they obviously made him work more than he should have, and we didn't work hard enough to score goals in open play. We had to score from a set piece. We have people like we keep waxing lyrical about these guys. Thomas Partey. We keep waxing lyrical about Bukayo Saka, who I think is very much burnt out at the moment. Odegaard, Smith Rowe, Pepe, Aubameyang. All these guys we wax lyrical about. They've delivered nothing. Nothing. And our man of the match was fucking Aaron Ramsdale, our goalkeeper. I mean, I just don't think against a team like Burnley that should be happening. We should be dominating them. They're not dominating us. And if our goalkeeper to get man of the match means that we got dominated by them, and I'm not happy about that at all. That's just my opinion. I'm very happy that he did well. I'm happy that he's got a chant going already. Aaron Ramsdale. I'm very happy about all of that. I'm just not happy that he had to be the best player on our team when we should have put Burnley to the sword. Maybe scored 2 goals at least, maybe 3, but 1 from a set piece, not good enough. Anyway, I'm going to
open it up.
I'm going to share this fucking Premier League result bollocks. Okay, so Norwich are doing what Norwich does best, and that is
lose. Have they won a game this year?
No, they haven't. And neither has Burnley, by the way, I think. Let me have a quick look at the table. I'll just jump to the table right now. I don't think... Burnley haven't won the game. They've only got 1 draw and 1 point.
But look at Norwich. They've lost every single game they played.
Yep, 5 games, 5 losses. Excuse me. Look, we'll go back to...
if they're gonna like what's the word? They're gonna match Sunderland's all-time worst record of all time because they're headed towards going to do that at the moment.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I think it's going that way because if they're losing to teams like Watford 3-1, and even to us, because we it's not like we're doing that fantastically. We were down there with them. Cocks and balls, wonderful. So we were down there with them.
Right. So I think you're on the week before 17th. No,
Watford 3. Watford 3. Yeah. Newcastle won, Leeds United won. That's a decent result for Newcastle, but they needed a win. They really needed to win.
3-0 against Wolves, despite having the guys
2-0.
2-0, sorry, 2-0.
They did score the goals first.
Brentford are doing that too. Shabby for themselves, you know that.
Well, they scored 2 goals and then they went down to 10 men, and Wolves couldn't break them down. There is a team actually, which I will get to in a second, which has been the standout team of the season so far. But Burnley versus Arsenal, I'm happy we won. Like I said before, a set piece goal. Don't look convincing. We're playing Spurs next week, and that's a team that is a lot better than the teams we've played since.
Well, can I just say something? I think the fact that you're nicking these results when you might have a couple of weeks ago got beaten by Burnley because Burnley are a decent side. I know you're poo-pooing them, but Sean Dyche
they haven't won a game this season, dude.
It doesn't matter, right? Sean Dyche is a great manager. He'll turn that around.
I think personally, I think Sean Dyche is done with Burnley. I think he can't. I think he's run. I think he's run out of tricks with that club, dude. I think he needs to move on. I think it's best for both parties. I think Burnley should have looked for a new manager a while back, and Sean Dyche, he needs a new challenge. I think he's got a little bit too. He's been there for a little bit too long. He's gone a little bit long in the tooth. I think he's run out of ideas, and I think he needs a new challenge himself. He's been in the club for too long, dude. Too long for them not to really be anything else but other relegation candidates every fucking season. You know what I mean? And now they're more likely to get relegated this season than the previous.
Well, I think a good result of the fact that you did that and your goalkeeper got man of the match is a good thing in my personal opinion because the thing is that because you were losing 5-0 on about you lost 2-5-0s on the bounce. Because you got your ass kicked by Burnley, you got by Brentford, you got your ass kicked by City, and then you got your ass kicked by Chelsea. So and then the last 2 matches you've won. So I would take those as you're on a bit of a you win consecutive matches now, so which is always a good thing. Now City lost.
And I'll tell you, this for me is one of the results. There's two results of the day of the week, and this is one of them. Man City versus Southampton 0-0. An amazing result for Southampton to play at the Etihad and not to concede. It's a great result. They would be so happy. You could tell they would be coming back. This would feel like a win for Southampton, and this would feel like a loss for Man City. For them not to get 3 points out of this game, not to score a fucking goal in this game against Southampton, for fuck's sake. You could have got some seriously good money on a 0-0 result. You would have probably got at least 10, 12, 15 to 1 on a 0-0 result, because everyone thinks Man City are going to bang in a goal or two. What a result for Southampton. What do you think of that?
I think it's a great result. I mean, considering that City have won like the last 3 or 4 games 5-0 or something stupid like that. I think it was the last since they lost against Tottenham. I think all of them have been 5-0 against you, against Leicester, against who else was it they played? Anyway, they won the last, and then to get 0-0 by Southampton, who were a pretty decent side. You know what? That's a hell of a result. And the thing
is, lost the opening game of the season. Other than that, they've won everything.
Yeah. So they drew that. So and plus Liverpool won 3-0. So they've extended the lead at the top.
Well, so much for Patrick Vieira, changing the team fortunes around. I know Liverpool are a better team than Tottenham, but they're not Tottenham is still a decent team. And for Crystal Palace to beat them 3-0, you would have thought they would have given Liverpool a bit more of a run for their money. So very surprised by that, to get so easily beaten. But, Liverpool are a decent team and they're going to be up there and challenging for the title. Here's a result that kind of surprised me. Aston Villa beating Everton 3-0, because prior to this match, Everton haven't lost a game. And they've done very well this season. And then they got wiped by Aston Villa. I wasn't expecting that, were you?
No. To be honest with you, I mean, because the thing is that Everton, they've been doing pretty well for themselves. I mean, I think they've won the first 4 or 5 or something like that, and then Aston Villa, who've been down there in I won't say relegation, but to middle to bottom end of the table, then all of a sudden perform like that.
They lost a couple of their South American players due to the incident that happened in Brazil, between Brazil and Argentina when they had their international game. So but I think those players are back now, like Martinez and stuff like that. Here's the second game of the week that had put a smile on my face. Right. People are complaining that or saying that Graham Potter's a shit manager. Pray for you all the time, but Brighton to beat Leicester 2-1, and I have to admit Leicester got a bit unlucky with some VAR results, but you can blame Harvey Barnes for obstructing the goalkeeper on both occasions in the offside position. But Brighton, they're third in the league, mate. Third in the fucking league.
That's pretty decent, actually. I'd say, I think Brighton might be top 6, top 7, or sort of contention.
I think so.
If they carry on this far, because they're doing pretty well for themselves.
I think so too, mate. I think Brighton are going to be the surprise. Every season, there's always a team that ends up fighting and fucking with the big boys for a little while. West Ham have been that team for the last couple of seasons, but I think they still will be that team this season. But Brighton this time around looks like they'll be maybe taking Leicester's spot. Who knows? Well, regarding West Ham, they lost 2-1. This was a good game it was an okay game of football. It kind of got interesting in the end after the substitutions of Jesse Lingard coming in. This was a decent game. We got to see Ronaldo immediately equalize after West Ham scored a lucky deflected goal. Well, and then Lingard comes on.
Since we bought him and people were poo-pooing him, he scored in every single game he's played since he's debuted.
I never understood why people were poo-pooing him. Like this guy is
like Paul Merson and people like that.
It's all of a sudden, he's going to Man United, he's become shit now. Everyone's waxing lyrical about how great Ronaldo is, all waxing fucking lyrical about how great he is, and the next thing you know, he's fucking don't poop. She's already shot on my head once today. I don't trust you, girl. Everyone's waxing lyrical about how fucking good Ronaldo is, and then as soon as he joins Man United, he's not good enough anymore. Like, what the fuck's going on? Like, he's a great player, and he's banging in goals left, right, and centre for you guys since he joined you guys. And but the goal by Lingard was exceptional. But it wasn't just. But Lingard didn't steal the show. It was David De Gea who stole the show, because I think this was a poor move on by David Moyes. Like, he's substituted. Was it Bowen to bring on Mark Noble, like a penalty taker, to take the penalty? You're telling me there's not one of those 11 players, not one of those 10 outfield players is capable of taking a penalty? You have to do a substitution on the 96th fucking minute. It's ridiculous. I think that ended up making it more dramatic than it should have been, and they should have let one of the outfielders on that 11 who were already out there take the fucking penalty instead of bringing on fucking Noble. What a stupid move by David Moyes. I think he was trying to play mind games. He ended up fucking mind gaming himself. Great save for David De Gea. He's had a decent. He's been revitalized, I think, recently, and I think he's playing some of his best football again.
People who play championship manager or football manager, or what it's called these days, be going, "Oh, all he can't manage this team." It's like, dude, he can't.
Yeah, and it was a good result for Man United. You guys are still in it, and then Arsenal's two hated London teams, Tottenham and Chelsea, battled it out, and Tottenham got battered 3-0 by Chelsea. Very convincing from Chelsea. I mean, all the defensive players scored, but nevertheless, good result for Chelsea. They're top of the league now. They've only drawn once this season, and that was against Liverpool when they were down to 10 men. They've won every other game. They look unstoppable at this moment in time. They've got like players who are big, apart from Kante. At the same time, they've got players who are mobile. They've got speed. They've got strength. They've got agility. They've got creativity. They just seem they've got it in every fucking department at this moment in time, and it will take a very, very established team or an off night from Chelsea for them to get beaten, in my opinion. But let's have a look at the Premier League table. So at the top of the table, we have Chelsea with 13 points, like Liverpool. I forget Liverpool have been doing really well. People forget how good Liverpool have been doing.
No, Liverpool. I think there's like 3 teams there who've not been beaten yet. That's Chelsea, Liverpool, United.
And so Brighton's going down to 4th now because
seriously, I mean, the thing is that it shows you how good City are, that they could have lost one, drawn one, and still be up there. I suppose it's already just started, so I mean, it doesn't really surprise me. But I mean, the thing is that if City have another shitty result and United, Liverpool, Chelsea keep on playing the way they are, that league could keep on growing.
I think City are going to find it a lot more difficult. I mean, they're going to rely on that top 4 right now to falter. But even Everton up there too. Like, they lost today, but they're still 6th, which is decent for Everton. But Tottenham have dropped down to 7th. They were top of the league not too long ago, and they've dropped down. West Ham have gone down to mid-table too. I mean, they started off really well, but recently the results have kind of soured. 2 draws and a loss, which is not too great. Brentford are very hit and miss. So with Aston Villa. Watford, they've got their first win in ages. Leicester don't look too great this season. They're on 12th. It's surprising for Leicester, but they're usually a decent team. But this season might be a bad one for them. It might be an off season for them. Arsenal back-to-back wins. We're now 13th place. If we beat Spurs next week, and Spurs obviously lose to us, then we'll both be on the same points. We'll both be on 9 points each.
So you're mid-table. which for Arsenal is a pretty bad season. Sorry, man. I hate it.
Yeah, mate. But our season's still shit, man. Don't get me don't get me wrong. No, we played these two teams. The last two games we played these two teams, and in my opinion, we didn't look convincing against these two teams. And these are the bottom two teams in the league. And now we're playing Spurs. Now apparently the old adage of form goes out the window is bullshit in recent years. In recent years, I don't think many of these. I think the fans give a fuck more about derbies than the players do. You know, a lot of these players are not growing up around derbies the way fans are, and it's just another fucking football match for them. And it'll be interesting to see how we perform against Tottenham. I mean, you can tell it's not like the fact that the players don't know that these are derbies, but do they feel it the way we do? I'm not so sure. And it'll be interesting to see what Tottenham does against us. It'll be interesting to see what we do against Tottenham. I don't think it's going to be that great a game, in my opinion. I could be wrong. But we'll find out, I guess, soon enough. But, yeah. Yeah, we beat Spurs. We're both on 9 points each. And Spurs, which were top of the league just a week or two ago, will be the same as us. I mean, they're going to drop further down the table for sure. Well, we'll be rising up it. Southampton, I mean, you know, fucking more draws than IKEA, mate.
Draw, lost.
Yeah. But, you know, the draw against Manchester City would be really good. And you know what? Okay, my light's just gone off. Against Manchester City would be really good, but I'm sure they'll take that one. Wolverhampton, they're falling apart a little bit too. Even though they had a win last week, this week they're back to losing ways again. Leeds United don't look very convincing this season. Don't look convincing at all. 3 draws and losses. Marco Bielsa, he could be one of the first managers to be sacked this season, in my opinion.
I don't know. If I was going to, it'd be one of these bottom 3 that's going to get the sack. So it'll probably be Steve Bruce, Sean Dyche, or be can't remember what's not Norwich City.
Yeah, I can't remember his name either. But
Steve Bruce, I thought lost out. Beardy Mix, rugby player. I can't remember what his name is.
Well, Steve Bruce is, you know, his head's on the chopping block. He's a Sunderland guy, I believe, and all that sort of shit. Or he's managed Sunderland, so for some reason, you know, obviously, you know, I hate it when this stupid level of tribalism comes into play because somebody managed a rival club or whatever. Those things are so. Oh, she just flew my elbow. Those things are so fucking irrelevant to me. You know, what's relevant is what's he doing for the club at this moment in time, and they're not doing good enough. And I think Brucey might get the sack, but then again, might actually such a cheapskate. He probably won't want to pay off the compensation. Burnley, obviously, I do think Sean Dyche needs to move on from that club. I think his time is done. But overall, the top half of the table looks pretty much like how it would do, with a couple of newcomers, Brighton being the most noticeable. You know, I think not many people gave Brighton a chance this season. You know, they really didn't. They really didn't give Brighton a chance this season, but Brighton this season they're doing really well. And Graham Potter's stock is going to be rising. Please get off my head. Please. We're on the shoulder? You can do, but not the head. So, yeah, I think Graham Potter's stock is going to be rising this season. If he can stay in the top half of the table this season, Brighton, I think, will be very happy with that. But overall, business as usual for the big clubs, most of the big clubs. I do see Man City faltering a little bit, but you know, going on about Man City, I was listening to stuff like TalkSport and stuff when I'm driving, and it's almost like people are saying that if Pep Guardiola doesn't win the Champions League this season, that he should get sacked. It's like I've never heard something.
It's like won the league with them the last 3 out of the last 4 years. I mean, what else is he supposed to do? I mean, like, the thing is that Chelsea's a better Champions League set-up team. They're going to kick your ass. Sorry, it's just the fact. If you can't deal with that, sorry, go. PSG will kick your ass.
You look at players like Mahrez and and guys like that, Ferran Torres, and those guys, they seem more suitable for the Premier League. They don't necessarily seem like big hitters in European football, but in England they would obviously be big hitters here. And so I can imagine them doing well in the Premier League and winning games here. But abroad, I'm not so sure. But nevertheless, to fire Pep Guardiola because he hasn't won the Champions League whilst he's still winning trophies elsewhere, it's just the height of stupidity. It really is. It really fucking is. You know, and the idea that people are suggesting that, they're actually suggesting that he should be fired. They could have a shit season this season. He shouldn't be fired. You know, they might come sixth this season, for argument's sake. You don't fire him. You know, managers are allowed to have a shit season. You know, so especially someone like Guardiola, who's won, you know, what, 2 or 3 Premier League trophies now with Man City. So, yeah, it's just ridiculous. Like the hiring and firing of managers sometimes at particular levels, it's beyond ridiculous. Like Liverpool had a bad season last season by their standards. They were lucky to get third. There wasn't a whisper, not a fucking whisper, on Klopp getting fired. And it's good that there wasn't, because it didn't upset the apple cart. And Klopp's got his shit together now, got his players back, and they seem to be back to winning ways again. You know?
So exactly. But I mean, the thing is that Chelsea, I think is, if Manchester City fans think they're going to beat PSG or Chelsea in any things that they face them, you got another thing coming. They're going to kick your ass. Sorry, they're better set up for the Champions League. They're better equipped to win the Champions League. They've got players that will run rings around what you call defense.
I think Chelsea are going to win the Premier League though this season. What do you think?
Consistency, that's the problem. It depends what their record is against the top. I say the top 6.
Next week they're playing. This is going to be an interesting game. But really, Man City need this win more than Chelsea does. But it's not like saying that Chelsea don't want to win this game. But if Chelsea beat Man City next week, then it's going to be pretty hard for Man City to come back, in my opinion. But that's the game next week, Saturday, 12:30 p.m. You know, what's the other big game? Arsenal, Tottenham, obviously. North London derby. Some interesting games. Man United versus Aston Villa. You got a little bit of a history there. That's also at 12:30 on Saturday, surprisingly. Why the hell is that happening? Makes no sense at all. But yeah, there's 2 games. Southampton versus Wolves. No, you put that makes no sense. Who gives a fuck about Southampton versus Wolves? But that's on a Sunday regardless, before the main event. I really want Brentford to beat Liverpool. Come on, give us a chance.
No, Liverpool will do too well. They'll walk that.
Actually, this is a big game. Crystal Palace versus Brighton. That's a derby. You know that. That's a derby because they hate each other. You know, just they're separated only by the M23. But Crystal Palace and Brighton is a derby. Brighton are killing it this season. Crystal Palace are being killed this season. It'll be interesting to see how that game goes. So there's some interesting matches next week as well. Everton will look to get a win against Norwich to get back to winning ways. This will be an interesting game as well. Newcastle or Watford, because they need to get their shit together a little bit. There's a whole bunch of teams that need to get their shit together a little bit. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this game. I'm looking forward to my team's game. I'm actually looking forward to Crystal Palace Brighton as well. I think it's a great game for a Monday Night Football. It's a decent game too. So yeah, that's been this week in football, and we had a quick preview of next week in football. Happy with your team's performance so far, Bossman?
Yeah. Again, I think that they've won the last 4 or 5. I think the only game they drew was against who was against now? I want to say it was against Southampton as well.
But apart from that, 1 second. You did draw, didn't you?
We did, yeah.
Southampton.
Yeah, so which considered they just drew against City isn't a bad thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they've had some big draws, Southampton. So they lost against Everton opening day of the season. And we could look at Southampton. Then they drew against Manchester United. They drew against Newcastle. And they drew against West Ham, which is a decent result for them. And now they're drawn against Manchester City. They are the draw specialists, mate, without a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. You're eating up my shirt, aren't you, sweetie? You're eating up my shirt. But yeah, I'm looking forward to next week as usual. As well, we'll have some European games, obviously, to start off the week, and then back to the Premier League action. So I can't wait for all of that. Anything more to say, Bossman, before we wrap this shit up? Nothing?
Yeah, that's me for the this week.
Wonderful, man. Me too. So thank you very much for watching this stream. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to NerdTube. We are the greatest YouTube channel you never fucking heard of. Thank you very much for watching. See you cunts later. Bye-bye.